Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about what I view to be the role of family in life, and why family is a value to a lot of people, why that's something important to a lot of people, and basically what its proper role should be in someone's life. Um, Gripers talk about this sort of thing quite a bit, because they see things like, oh, the fall of the family in the West. The family isn't as important anymore because of all the sort of like short-term promiscuous relationships that create children, and there's not really stable healthy families anymore. And there's an extent to which I agree with this. I don't agree with them on certain family things, because I think a lot of people think that they have a duty to their family, a sort of unconditional love that they're supposed to feel for their family, and lead them to sacrifice for their family, and basically view their family as like above them to an extent. When this is the case, I think that their view of family is bad, although I'm not sure a lot of people have that view. But a lot of people do think that one should sacrifice for their family, and one should unconditionally love their family, even if the family treats them like shit, even if the family is not in their self-interest to spend time with. However, I think the ideal sort of family, if they are treating you well, I think the purpose of a family should be basic like support sort of thing. Um, in the beginning of life, they essentially teach you how to live. They teach you virtue. That's a big role when you're growing up. But as you get older and as you become an adult, one sort of thing that's important to have family for is sort of a support with regards to love and career, and those are two important things. Like this sort of support base that you can, when you're struggling, you can always have like your family to fall back on, or if you're financially struggling, you have your family to fall back on. You always essentially have some people to love you, and also some people to help you grow as well, some people to critique you. That's another really important thing about family. Friendships are a similar thing, but family is like, these are the people that you grew up with. These are the people that gave you a lot of your values, gave you a lot of your subconscious premises, and you spent a lot of time with them growing up. And if you had a good family situation, these are people that you can essentially fall back on after like a breakup or something. You go and, like, after breakups when I was in high school, I would go and talk to my parents about it right away. Those would be the first people that I talked to, and they'd help me, give me some support with that, and basically be sort of this support regarding love, like this sort of way for me to feel love when I mess up with regards to, or when I fall or have something bad happen to me in terms of trying to achieve a relationship. So that's an important aspect of family with regards to relationships, because it's sort of this relationship that you get from when you're born. It's this sort of initial relationship that you have, and from there, that's kind of like the starting point that you can go out and branch out to other relationships and continue pursuing a career. Now you can't treat this fact intrinsically and think that you need to unconditionally love your family and be unconditionally a part of that family. If they aren't treating you well, if they aren't living up to this role of support, and if they aren't really supporting you, if they aren't actually giving you virtues, and they're like excessively critical of you, or they're asking you to sacrifice for them, like for in the example of love, let's say you fall in love with a girl and they're like, no, you can't date this person. You're not part of this family if you go and date this person. And I mean, that's absolutely terrible. You should not associate with your family in that sense. Or if they're like pushing a certain person on you, that's also a somewhat negative thing. Now you can take advice from them, and if it's rational advice, you listen. But when they're like sort of telling you to sacrifice for the betterment of the family, that's a bad thing. Same thing with career. Career can be good if you fail in your family can be good with regards to career as well. If you're trying to pursue a career and you make a mistake, or you are struggling at pursuing your career, if you like get fired, for example, like you can have some sort of financial support to fall back on. That's a pretty good thing. Now you need to be able to bounce back up. These people, they should be motivating you to bounce back out of this, and basically begin to pursue your own career, and get a job in the future. That you shouldn't fall back on them entirely, but they can be the sort of baseline support if you mess up. And they also shouldn't like try to force you to do a certain career. That's a really bad thing. Think about like that stereotypical Asian parent who like says, "Oh, you have to become a doctor," because yeah, whatever. That's a really negative thing about family. That's a really negative thing that a family can do as well. But in general, in both of these instances, it seems that the role of family is this sort of basic support mechanism, this sort of starting point with regards to, or I guess basic support mechanism, but and also like a sort of starting point too. Because I mean, yeah, it's definitely a starting point because that's where you start your life. They kind of help you form your values early on, and they are there for you to fall back on in events of like bad things happening to you or failure or anything like that. So yeah, I think largely family is a very good, important thing. You can't sacrifice for it though. So, but I think there is a important role of family that needs to be fulfilled. But that's basically my view of what the ideal sort of family situation would be. These are just general principles. This is just a quick sort of thought that I've had. This is actually a little shorter than some of my more recent videos, but yeah, it's longer than a lot of my earlier videos. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.